Hello everybody, welcome back to Fanblade. It's the last episode of the Buildathon series. We've got a 5-string bass to put together. Now, last week I did a lot of the polishing and the assembly, but I didn't actually show you much of the setup because I kind of ran out of time. So this week we're going to do exactly the opposite of that. I'm simply going to polish it, put it together, and then we'll spend a bit of time talking about the setup and how to get them playing just right. So, let's get into it. Just one little detail worth noting, I'm using the large size pots, and in order to make sure I've got enough room for them, I've marked them out from the inside so I know they're all going to fit, and then put a pilot hole through. Now, when you are putting a pilot hole through to the front of a polished instrument, do not use a towel. This is an old pillowcase. This has not got little loops and fibres and things that are going to bind up on the drill. As it's going through, it'll grab hold of the towel from underneath the guitar and it'll screw everything up. There's all manner of catastrophe that can happen. Ask me how I know. Yeah. Nice clean, soft cotton cloth. Very good. I'll just take a moment to talk about what's happening with the bridge here. These bridge saddles, you know, like they're quite weighty, they're quite dense. I personally, now that I've thought about it and I've had to install it, and I literally can't see the point of these. All I want right now is a high-mass Fender bridge or a badass bridge just to stick on there. Swipe it over the top of those holes and call it done. As it is, I don't have one of those and I can't really do that. What I've got to do is run a grounding wire up into each one of these, and also just because of the way it's all come together and the fact that these wound up being 0.5 millimetre wider at one end than I thought they were. Sorry, that's 1/4 millimetre on each side, so 0.5 millimetre times 5 is that much offset, as opposed to perfectly square there. They're all going to be sitting just like that. So, yeah, not the best. It'll work. Also, they're quite high. I may have to shim the neck to actually get that to line up properly, but we'll talk about that when I come to do the setup. Yes, it's working. So a couple more notes on the bridge saddles. I've had to unscrew them and take them out because the ball end goes in, but then it won't slide home. And on the B string, that's because the slot at the back wasn't wide enough to accommodate the string. I have widened that. That now fits. All of the other strings already fit, but the B string's extra thick, so that didn't work. So that's something to note if you're going to use these yourself. B string's broken. Straight off the factory floor. Just snapped at the tuner. How crap is that? Diodario? I love you, Diodario. You've been my favourite strings for years and years and years, but this is not the first time this has happened to me. Sorely disappointed. Sorely annoyed. Okay, now I don't know how well you can see this on camera. The strings are at pitch, and the neck, of course, is ramped up like that. It's bananaed forward because the truss rod is not currently engaged. I need to do something about that super quick, because these strings are way high. That's I don't know what's that. It's nearly a centimetre. Yeah, I can sort of get my finger under there. The nut's not properly done yet. There's a lot of adjustments to make, but the idea here is that we get the neck as straight as possible, and then we get the strings as low as possible. So that'll be step 1, straighten the neck out. Step 2, lower the nut. Step 3, adjust the bridge. And then, and only then, we do the intonation last. Okay, so everything's adjusted for height. It's good. It's not perfect. I had to shim the nut because I am bad at making nuts. It's always the thing that screws me up the most. But with a slight shim, I've managed to get it back from being, too low, but whatever. Heights are good here. Possible adjustment up later on, but right now it's worth noting that a cell phone app is not sufficient to get your intonation right. So I need to actually plug into a proper device. I've got a very good. It's a. I don't think Boss make them anymore. The Micro BR. It's a multi-effect 4-track recorder, tuner, MP3 player. It does the works. It's very accurate when it comes to tuning. So I will use that to set the intonation, and then. What else is there to do? I need to polish the nut, truss rod cover. I need to put the back plate on because this keeps cutting out as the metal wires keep touching things. It's shorting out. Yes, it's not going there. Oh no, I've turned the amp off. Whatever. Set the intonation, cover on, tuners, polish the nut, strap locks, and we're nearly there. We're nearly there. Yeah. And just like that, we're done. It's done, it's finished, it's a bass. Excellent. Let's go test it out. What you are listening to is the sound of my covers band, Sign of the Firebird, at their sound check. I plugged the bass in, and it just went. It sounded fantastic. The ThunderBucker pickups that are in there, highly recommended. They're really, really good. That's it. The Buildathon is complete. Many thanks to everybody who has subscribed and encouraged me and been patient with me to finish these. I really couldn't have done it without your support, so again, I'll say thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.